Canela, over here. Come here, Canela. Over here. Come here. Over here. Over here. Come here. That's my boy. Come here. Over here. That's a good boy. Come here. Come here. That's my boy. Good boy. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come. Come. That's my Jimster. What a good boy you are. Now will you cush for me? You cush? Come on. Cush. Cush. Canela always has to think about it. Come on, Nela. Cush. That's a good boy. That's a very good boy. Very good. Okay, that's my boy. That's my boy. Good fellas. Okay, fellas. You know, I've had alpacas for 6 years now as pets, just 2 at a time. You have to have at least 2 because they are herd animals and they have to have a companion. One of the things I was really concerned about when I was looking into buying alpacas was whether or not I could train them in their potty habits. And of course, a lot of people laughed about that, but my concern was that I didn't want them doing their business in the barn. So I was very happy when I got my first 2 geldings that Indigo and Gypsy did not ever do it in the barn. So I didn't even have to worry about training them. It wasn't even an issue. They automatically went outside, and of course I was always talking to them outside where they were doing their business and telling them what good boys they were, and they never, ever, even in horrible weather, did it in the barn. Then, when I got Canela, this little fella was pretty good the first few weeks I had him, and then he had one of his little accidents in the barn. And needless to say, as the barn goddess who does not want to clean up after alpacas inside of the barn on a wooden floor and rubber mats and on top of bedding hay, I had a big fit. I was very, very upset, and they could tell because I was not in a very good mood and I was talking pretty sharply. But anyway, after that I decided it was important to take Canela out to the scat pile back there where they do their business and work on reinforcing the habit of going outside to do his business. So for the next week or 2 after his accident in the barn, I made sure any time he had to go use the dung pile, I went over with my clicker, this little good device, with my little clicker, because he's clicker wise and he knows that when I click this it means he's doing what I want him to do. And anytime he was over there, I would click that he was getting ready to do it and reward, and then I would click when he was doing it, and if he was interested I would reward him. And then after he was done he would get clicked, and then he would get profusely awarded wonderful words of praise about how good he was, and a little bit of carrots too. But anyway, after that first incident, I didn't have a problem with him again until about a year later, just before I went on vacation for a month. He must have had some psychic knowledge that I was leaving and was expressing his displeasure. But anyway, we did the same routine. I got really upset and was hollering as I cleaned up the mess. And then did the click and reward. He didn't do anything like that while I was gone. And he waited another year before he did it again. And right again before I left on vacation. So, same routine. And now I can happily say that it's been 2 years since he's had an accident in the barn, and that even in the worst of weather during that two-year period, they have always either just gone outside around the corner just barely, rather than way out to the far dung pile, or they've just at least stepped outside and done their business just right outside the barn. And I didn't make an issue over that because, in my opinion, as long as it wasn't in the barn, it was acceptable. And once I cleaned it up, they resumed using the regular dung pile and didn't do it again in front of the barn. So it worked out fine. I honestly think that when you have alpacas as pets, that you can train them to go potty where you want them to go, as far as picking a spot and pretty much sticking to it and not doing it in the barn. At least that's been my experience with these two guys, and luckily this guy is Mr. Clean. He's never had any inclination to make a mess in his barn. I call him Mr. Fastidious, right, Gypster? And Canela is learning. I encourage you, if you do have alpacas as pets and you want to change that habit, work on it with them. Do clicker training. It works. It's just amazing. So have a good time with your alpacas and enjoy them.
And don't forget to dream big in your potty training of your alpacas. You might be surprised at what you can accomplish. I wish.